What's going on, guys? I know it has been a long time since I have made a video, and a lot of that is because I was busy working on my garden and everything. I've been doing a lot with it, and I just got tired of trying to film and work at the same time. It is what it is. You know, I couldn't get as much work done at the same time that I'm filming because I'm trying to do a lot of stuff. And I'll show you right now what's been going on. But yeah, I will get back on and make some more videos. Try to stay in the YouTube sphere. I'm also on Odyssey, as I always, when I share my videos, I always talk about them on Odyssey, and I might try to get on Rumble too. But yeah, let's take a look at what's going on. I've been making some changes, and yeah, I'll just show you really quick. So here we go. As you can see, I still have a few of the Mexican sunflowers, but I have actually dug out 3 of them. I had 6 total. There was one here, was there, I think, one there and one over there. I dug them out because I wanted more room to plant things. I'm gonna keep, if I don't keep all 3 of these, I'm at least gonna keep a couple, because they grow very willingly here, and they are a good thing to, I've started to take the leaves, and whenever I cut it down or cut it back, take the leaf, like strip the leaves off and put them in the compost tea, sort of like you would do with a comfrey. But another thing, hold on, let me pull out this. Look at this baby oak tree right there. These pop up in my garden all the time. There's the acorn. Another thing I've done, you can probably see, is I have mulched this entire garden. I know I had said before in the past that I wasn't going to do that, but I have been having so much trouble with my soil, and things just aren't wanting to grow. As you can see, also, there's not a whole lot growing here. I got a Seminole pumpkin starting to take off here, which is good. I've got, like, all my cassava came back from the winter. And I just planted a whole bunch of guava seeds right here. I used to have a mango right there, but I thought it was dead. I pulled it up, and it looked like it was trying to regrow, but it was trying to regrow from underground. So I thought that was a little bit strange. So I didn't try to save it. I just got rid of it. It was a kit mango. I like the kit mangoes. They're not my favorite variety, so I just got rid of that. I planted where it's kind of, you see the dirt there. I just put down a whole bunch of guava seeds, and we'll see what happens. I've got an okra seedling there. My my ube yam is waking up back there, and this bigger sprout right here is tromboncino squash. I'm trying that out for the first time. That smaller one behind it is cuckoozy gourd. That is all I could get. I planted multiple seeds of both of those varieties, and those were the only 2 that grew. This is what I'm talking about. I'm having a lot of issues. I planted them all along this panel right here, and they just didn't grow. They didn't even sprout. I've been having a lot of issues with that. And this is the culantro. There are leaves down here, but it's mostly going to seed, which I'm surprised that it hasn't kind of reseeded itself. But it's still growing, getting bigger. I think that these are its flowers. So, but it has some leaves down there. Some of it's buried under this mulch. Pigeon pea, you can see that it's producing peas. And then I have some, finally, after I've planted it. I didn't think they were going to come up, and then all of a sudden, here they come. I have one there, and one there of loofah. Right there is okra. I actually don't have this panel right here because I'm using it in another garden. But what I want to do is get an actual cattle panel and put it across from this row over to that row, or something like that, and let the loofah climb on that. But yeah, my cassava's coming back well. Orange trees is just, it's there. This is another Seminole pumpkin that this thing has been struggling since it popped up, and I'm not sure it's gonna make it. But again, this is part of the reason why I have been mulching like this. Here's an okra. This is a new variety I'm trying. This is called a Jing orange okra, and I'm trying that out. There's a snake bean there, snake bean here. These that popped up here are a different variety that I haven't tried before. I got this variety from Seed the Stars, a good outfit out of Orlando. If you're in the Central Florida area, check them out. But yeah, this one, that one's not quite dried out yet, because I've been just letting these dry out. You can pick them when they're green and then eat them like green peas, or you can let them dry out. And I've been letting them, I've picked everything off of this one except for this pod, but you can see right in here there's new leaves coming out. And then this one, see, this is more what you want right here, but that one doesn't really have any peas on the inside, which I've run into a couple times. But you know, this is their first time actually producing anything. So, oh, here's one. That one, sorry, don't mean to blow on the microphone, but I've got mosquitoes flying all around me. This is what they look like when they're dry. And so these pigeon peas have been doing really well. It looks like okra seeds have come up right there. But yeah, I had said I wasn't going to. Oh yeah, this is daikon radish. I don't know when or I was supposed to harvest it earlier or what, but it is it's bolted, and I'm guessing that this is how it makes seeds. They look like beans, so I'll keep the seeds. I haven't picked any yet. They haven't gotten, I could tell they haven't gotten very big, but I'm kind of just letting them, I mean, I do want to try one, but I'm kind of just letting them, you know, work on my ground, my soil in here. This is I don't know if I've made a video since I planted this. This is a soap nut tree. This is I believe this is a purple. Yeah, this is a purple sweet potato that's trying to come up. Every time it comes up, though, the rabbits get it. How this cranberry hibiscus got over here, I will never know, but it did. Here's some okra that's limping along over here. But a little yellow pear tomato that's limping along. There's another cranberry hibiscus that somehow made it over here. Blackberry here, blackberry here. I thought they were dead. They came back very nicely after the winter. I got those blackberries at Scrubland Farms up near Ocala, Florida. Here's another Seminole pumpkin that I planted. I don't know how this tomato got here, but it did, and I'm letting it grow, and then I'll transplant it. I'll move it somewhere else. This looks like a tomato seedling right there. I'll let it grow, and I'll move it somewhere else. And this, I have two of these. This little stick, which may not turn into anything, is a bare root elderberry that I got. A company that I will never use again because I was not satisfied with how they handled the process. And then here's the other one right here. And then this mulberry tree that I grew this from a cutting off of my everbearing. But the funny thing is, these leaves right here are twice the size of the ones on my everbearing that I took this cutting off of. This thing is doing it's doing better than the one that I had originally planted. Go figure. I mean, this thing grows, it almost seems like it grows while you're watching it. It's just incredible. It hasn't fruited, but I just planted it. I just rooted and planted it last year, so it probably won't. Maybe it'll fruit later this year, but not right now. But I mean, it is doing very well. If it gets too much bigger, I'm going to have to start pruning it already. I have the acerola over here. It looks like it's got new growth coming out. It's growing slowly but surely. But yeah, I have, at the advice of some of my some gardeners that I trust and I talk to a lot, Sam Singleton from Scrubland Farms is one of them. I have mulched this entire garden. I actually started over in this area. I put down cardboard, then I bought topsoil and put topsoil on top of that, then I mulched on that. But I ended up not doing that for the rest of it because that was going to end up being expensive, buying all the topsoil. So I just decided I have free mulch and I have as much of it as I can ever want. So I'm just going to continuously mulch. I'll add mulch. If it starts to get thin, I'll just keep adding and keep adding and keep adding, because I have got to repair this soil. Whoa, I'm sorry, I'm blocking the camera there. This soil is absolutely terrible. Come on, get the camera right. The soil is terrible, and I have got to get it fixed if I ever want to grow anything in here. So what I already have planted in here, I'm leaving in here. And what I'm going to do what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start planting, I'm going to start planting more like perennials in here. Like I've got the pigeon peas in here, and the culantros in here, stuff like the cassava that doesn't really care about the soil, the Seminole pumpkin over here. I can't get the camera right. You know, I'm going to let that grow. I'm going to, unfortunately, if I want to get anything out of it, I have to use some fertilizer, and I have like the organic Miracle-Gro fertilizer, but yeah, I'll use that a few times just to get things going. But I have to I've got to, and I know this could take, you know, a year or more to get this fixed, but I've got to fix this with soil. I've got to repair it. Where it is, right where this is, like there, okay, so on this side, this part of this row right here is somewhat protected. It gets some shade from this cherry laurel tree, and which is fine, and things tend to do better right in this section because of that. But everything else over here, because the sun is so harsh, especially as the temperatures get, you know, they start to warm up, the sun is so harsh that I can't get the soil. This soil was so hydrophobic when I started planting things in the spring that it didn't matter. And it's also been extremely dry. Like we got rain on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, yesterday. We got rain yesterday for the first time in, like, you know, yesterday, and then we got a little bit last Saturday for the first time in literally a month or more. So I've got to get all this soil repaired. I would water it, and it would just, the soil wouldn't absorb any of it. I would put fertilizer like the compost tea on it, and it wouldn't absorb any of it. You could see it. I would water it, and you'd see it just rolling off down into the walking paths or rolling off into the grass. If it did, I mean, there were some times where I'd have something planted and I would water it, and the water would just sit there, and then I'd come back, you know, in 5 minutes, and it was still sitting there. And so it's not holding on to the nutrients, and it's not absorbing the water like I need it to. So I've got to get the carbon back into the soil. I've got to get the biomass going. I've got to attract the worms. I've got to get the mycelium into the soil. And so that is why I decided to go ahead, and since I have all the mulch I could ever want for free, thanks to it's actually kind of my neighbor. He's right up the road from me, has a tree service. Thanks to him, you know, I can get this anytime I want for free. he gives me a big, I mean, all this that I laid down here, and I've remulched all my trees out there, and I'm still not done. Like, there's going to be some trees out there are not done yet. Like as the season goes on, the mulch will start to wear down, as it does here in Florida, and the weeds and the grass are extremely hardy here, so they will come through it. I'm going to have to just put more and more down, because you want it to be thick to insulate the soil, protect the soil, and to build up that carbon and that mycelium. So yeah, but with all of this, I still have like a quarter of the pile that I had gotten before. So I've got to keep doing this, you know. Yeah, it's a little bit labor intensive, but it's really not that bad. I've got, obviously, you know, I've got a wheelbarrow. I've recently got a lawnmower trailer, so that I can, yeah, that makes it easy too. But let me show you some of the got out here. I finally found, this is a yellow dragon fruit. I was at Home Depot, and they actually, most of the time they just have the pink ones, but they actually had a yellow one, and I could not pass it up because I love the yellow dragon fruit. But you can see all out here how I've put the mulch in, and see this already the grass is just poking right through it. Especially this grass right here. This is nutsedge. You can see how it spreads by these runners underground like that. Already it is coming through. So as the season goes on, I'm just going to have to keep adding. I've mulched this fig heavily. I'm trying really hard to get it to, because it's just, it never looks healthy, and it never produces. This fig over here, you know, these have finally woken up, but this one's so small that it's not going to produce for a while. This loquat is just getting ridiculous. Yet again, we went through the winter. We had 3 or 4 nights of freezing temperatures, and this loquat, you would have never known. Maybe a few leaves got some frost damage, but otherwise it looked like it didn't even phase it. So I'm a little bit surprised that it hasn't produced fruit yet, especially because of how big it is. But it probably was something that came from a seed, so it's going to take a while. But yeah, and this one did the same. This one here. I don't remember if I made any videos since I had gotten this cherry of the Rio Grande over here. I bought this from a nursery that's a town over from me, and we actually, for the first time, I bought it last year and put it in the ground. I thought it was going to die. Maybe I did put it on here. I can't remember everything that I've shown, but it didn't die. It's come back. It looks good, and it actually, this spring, once it kind of warmed up, it actually produced a few cherries. Not many. We maybe got 7, but we got enough to taste it, see what it's like, and I like it. If you let them get really dark before you pick them, they kind of have like a cherry candy flavor, so they're really good. I'm hoping that my star fruit here will start to produce soon, because it's getting really tall as well. And then one last thing out here before I go and show what I'm experimenting with. This Thai smallberry, I have been worried about it, but it has come back this year. This is the best I've ever seen it. It looks very good. It has grown exponentially, and we got several more berries off of it this year before the birds got it. The birds got a lot of them, unfortunately, but we did get some. So it's doing really well. And yeah, so we're here and show you what I'm doing. Just running an experiment to see if I can get, I'm trying out planting. I planted some the yellow pear tomatoes and some okra in a new place over on the other side of my house where there's a lot more leaf litter and it's kind of in the shade. So real quick, I'll show you that, so bear with me 1 second. Okay, so right over here you can see we're underneath all these big oak trees over here, and I dug just this little about 4x4 bed. I planted a few lines of tomato, okra, and I know I'm pretty sure that people would say you shouldn't plant tomato and okra together. Okay, well, I'm just experimenting. I want to see, because this soil over here is much better. I mean, it rained yesterday, so I didn't really need to water it a bunch, but because I have seeds over here, I don't want it to dry out. But when I lightly watered this tonight, and when I put water on it, it just goes right into the ground. This soil is much darker. This soil is it stays moist longer, and when you water it, it absorbs it pretty much immediately. Any soil, when there's a lot of water on it, and just a heavy rain or something, there's gonna be some standing water. It's just how it works. But with the soil out in my garden now, it was so hydrophobic that I could, just use a watering can and pour water on it, and it would sit there. And like I said, I'd come back 5 minutes later and it's still sitting there. So that's not good, and I've got to repair that. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I've been doing. That's why I haven't been making videos. It's very hard for me because I'm doing it, one-handed basically. Very hard for me to work and to film at the same time. So that's why I haven't done anything. Not that my videos are the highest quality, but what you see is what you get. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Real quick, I want to show you my passion vine is producing again, and let me tell you, this year I have got more passion fruit than I have ever gotten, ever. I mean, I would not be surprised if I wind up with at least, in the very least, 50 passion fruits this year. That one's still attached to the vine, it's just laying on the ground. But part of that, you can see here, this section right here has taken frost damage, so it's not growing as well, but it's still alive, and it's going up here. There's some more fruit right there. There's some there's some there. But this thing goes all the way up into this oak tree. And there are clusters of fruit. You can't really see it, but up there where I'm pointing, there's just clusters and clusters of fruit. So, I've already lost some of them, either to insects or they fell off prematurely, so there probably was something wrong with them. So I've already lost some, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised to get 50 of them this year. And it has just, and I just saw, like, I think it was either yesterday or Sunday, there was another flower. So it's still not done blooming. So I have got the biggest crop of passion fruit that I've ever gotten this year, and I might sell them suckers because they're like $4 a piece at the grocery store. Who knows? But anyways, oh, one last thing. Come over here. From the same place that I got the elderberry, I have something called a marionberry. I'm experimenting with that and seeing how it grows. It, I believe, is a vine. I have it planted right here. It is thorny, so I got to be careful. But it's been doing well. I put it in the ground. It never went into shock. You can see it's producing new leaves. And I created this, I think is it Josh Satin? I can't remember. He has a thing called, just look up trellis to make you jealous, and he'll probably pop up. I'm doing something similar to that. T-posts, although I need to reinforce them, but T-posts, and instead of using electrical conduit like he used, I'm just using PVC and these elbow joints here, these T-joints rather. And that way, once this gets, it needs to get a little bit longer, so that I think I'm gonna have to tie it to it and just let it go up, and it'll do its thing. There we go. I'm covering the camera again. I'm really not that good at this. That's probably why nobody follows me. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. I will try to get more videos up more frequently now. It probably won't be a weekly thing like I was doing at one point, but I will still try to stay. It just depends on what all goes on, you know. Sorry, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been really busy with that, and it's just hard for me to work and, you know, and film at the same time. I'd rather get my work done and do that. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for people who have stuck around, still paying attention to what I'm doing, to my, like, you know, 30 something YouTube subscribers. Thank you for being the first on the trip here, but hopefully we'll get it to grow, you know, as I get going. If it becomes something a little bit more worthwhile, you know, it will get more professional. But this is what it is for now. And yeah, and so I'll be back soon with another video, kind of update the progress of things, see what grows and what doesn't. I'm about to go throw down a bunch of black eyed peas, and then I'm going to call it a night. So I will talk to you all soon, and take care.